Alright, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Yahawah from the GMS Chicago branch coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit by Yahawah. Before I start off, I'd like to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawah, Bahashem, Kakadash. That belongs to the apostles, great mills, doing will. And sanctities are you brethren doing this work in true sincerity with charity. Alright, and Lord, this is going to be a quick, edifying lesson to the elect out there. Alright, touching on always trusting and believing in Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawah. Alright, at all times, man. No matter if through the carnal eyes we can't see, a way out, right? Or you just don't know how to handle a certain situation. All right, at the end of the day, the scripture says, "Cast your burden upon Yahawah Bahashem Yahawah, for He cared for you, man." Right? So at the end of the day, man, if something seems too hard for us, something, we got an obstacle in the way that we just can't seem to figure out, man. All right, at the end of the day, believe in Yahawah Bahashem Yahawah, man. All right, the scripture says all things work good to those who love Yahawah Bahashem Yahawah, right? So at the end of the day, hey, we just have to put our trust in the Lord. And guess what? At worst thing that can happen is the Lord don't pull it through for you, man. But hey, guess what? If He don't, all things work good for those who love the Lord, man. So at the end of the day, we have to have full trust in Yahawah Bahashem Yahawah, man. All right? Because the Lord has the elect's best interests at heart, man. We might not be able to see it at the moment, right? But if you hold on, all right, the Lord will show you, right, a week down the line, months down the line, even years down the line, why certain things play out the way it played out, man. Right? We just have to constantly trust in Yahawah Bahashem Yahawah. And that's it, man. The Lord is looking for true believers, right? So He's gonna try us, right, and put us in situations where we have no other choice but to call upon His name, but to believe in Yahawah Bahashem Yahawah. And that's the times where our true faith is shown. All right, our true characters, is brought forth, man. Right? With that, I'm gonna bring out a few precepts and a little it be edifying, but that's the gist of it, right? This is Proverbs 3 and verse 5. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thy own understanding." Right? Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thy own understanding, man. Right? So at the end of the day, man, all right, when you out your wits with this place, when you out your wits with all the hell you catching, all right, the bills that's piling up that you collecting, right? You juggling truth and your work life and your family life, right? You probably got some hobbies, man, right? Satan constantly plaguing your mind, right? All these different wicked thoughts and like I said, wicked thoughts, man, and just troubled thoughts that trouble the mind, man. It's constantly plaguing you, man. You got body ailments, right? And these things, they pile up into effect, right? And all you can do is just trust in Yahawah Bahashem Yahawah, man. Right? Because the Lord didn't see you through this whole time, man. The minute you get to, lean into your own understanding, right? Because Scripture says the heart is desperately wicked, man. Above all things, man. Who can know it? Right? You get to, listening to, those little thoughts, man. All right? That pop up time from time, man. Right? And you get to feeding into it. Then guess what, man? Hey, that's when the Scripture says, roughly paraphrasing, the beginning of pride is when one departed from his maker, man. Right? That pride starts seeping in. Right? Now you think you could do all big and bad on your own, man. Right? Oh, I don't need the Lord, man. So for so on. Oh, He ain't been, I've been going through all this hell. I ain't been, getting no help. So for so on, man. That's how Satan comes, man. Right? The Scripture talks about, Satan desires to sift you as wheat, man. Right? When you go into that word sift, it goes into inward agitation, man. Right? He tries to, stir up your spirit inwardly, man. Now you're constantly warring against yourself, man. Right? Which that's a constant battle, anyways. Right? But you warring against yourself, and if you don't use the Scriptures, all right, and if you don't trust in Yahawah Bahashem Yahawah, then you're gonna lose, man. You're gonna lose, man. Right? Because hey, the Lord is our defense, man. These Scriptures is our comfort, man. Right? You think you're gonna go out here in this world, and something's gonna change. It's not, man. Because you're still under curses, right? The only thing that's gonna happen, right, is hey, you're gonna you're gonna find out the hard way, man. You're gonna find out the hard way, right? You're gonna end up bugging out. You know, you're gonna lose your hope in Yahawah Shema Shah, and then hey, you're gonna regret it, man, at the end, man. You know, when the Lord returns. So hey, just trust in Yahawah Shema Shah, man. We got it, man. All right, we got the wisdom, knowledge, understanding. We got the truth. This is the truth, man. And the Lord is gonna see us through, man. Right? We have to just keep holding on, man. Right? And rehearsing the righteous acts. Actually believing in Yahawah Shema Shah, man. Right? You know, of fleeing from evil, man. Fleeing from sin, right? Turning back to Yahawah Shema Shah. This is Psalms 118:8. It is better to trust in Yahawah than to put confidence in man, right? So trust in Yahawah Shema Shah, man. Don't put your confidence in this world and man and yourself, right? Trust in Yahawah Shema Shah. He's gonna see you through, man, right? You know, hey, I'm gonna just bring this out real quick because I had it on deck too. It says, look at this Sirach 2:10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Whom did he ever despise that called upon him? Right? So when we look at plenty of examples in the scriptures, man. The 3 holy children, right? You know, you got Daniel in the lion's den. You know, I believe Habakkuk brought the food to one of the prophets, all right, who was locked up or in the pit. Forget, I think it was Elijah, right? You know, you look at Jacob and 12 during the time of the famine, man. You know, see, the Lord had Joseph going to slavery, right? You know, or he was given over into slavery by his brothers, right? He was sold off, by his brothers, all right? Ultimately, for the future, man, right? So that when the famine came, they would have food, man. But that was years and years later, man, right? But the thing is, Joseph, he trusted in Yahawah Shema Shah, man. He trusted in Yahawah Shema Shah, man, right? And through all that, the Lord established him, in different ranks until he was basically second to Pharaoh, man. He was basically second to Pharaoh, man. And when the famine came, Jacob and his sons came, looking for, trying to find some nourishment, right? And they was able to, get some nourishment, man. But evil times had to come upon Joseph first before that was able to happen, man, right? And things like that happen in everyday life, man. Evil times fall upon all us, man. All you brothers and sisters out there, man. But guess what? Like I said, man, we have to trust in Yahawah Shema Shah because he's gonna see us through, man. Hey, and it never feels good, man. The scripture says, no chastising for the moment seemeth joyous but grievous, man. But afterwards yielded peaceable fruit, man. So yeah, man, I know this shit. It's mind-boggling, right? It hurts. You want to cry, right? You want to give up, but you can't, man. You can't, man. We got the power of heaven and earth on our side, man. We got the angels watching us, man. We have to keep fighting, man. Scripture says that we are more than conquerors, man. Right? And hey, once we overcome this is it, man. And Yahawah Shah did it, man. Right? Hey, this is the captain of our salvation, man. He was made perfect through sufferings. Hey, we drinking of that same cup, man. And hey, Lord, will we be joint heirs with Yahawah Shah, man? This is the rite of passage, as they say. But we have to continually trust in Yahawah Shema Shah because he got us, man. He got us. He got us, man. He's watching us in that fire. The Lord said he will not put more on thee than thou can bear, man. He's like the refiner, right? You refining silver and gold, you gotta watch it. Get all the impurities out, right? Keep watching it. You take it out. Nah, that ain't it. And what they say, how do you know when it's when it's refined, man? When you see your reflection, right, in it, man. So the Lord is, perfecting us, man. So we could be more like him, man. God's, man. Small, little g, But man, so just let me read one more. Just constantly trusting Yahawah Shemel Shahakim. He got us, man. He got us, right? He always have, and he always will. This is Psalms. Matter of fact, this is Proverbs. Let me see. I just want to read one more. I'm gonna read Isaiah. This is Isaiah 12:2. It says, "Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and will not be afraid." It says, "For the Lord Yahawah is my strength." It says, "In my song, He has also become my salvation." Right? So, hey man, that's who we trust in. Yahawah B'Hashem Yahushua. All right, nothing should make us afraid, man. Right? The flesh might anticipate. The flesh might get weak. All right, but we have to understand who we're serving, man. Right? No, let me read that real quick. This is Hebrews 11:6. "But without faith it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him." Right? So we gotta believe in Yahawah Shemel. He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. This is Hebrews 10:38. "Now the just shall live by faith. If any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him." Right? So it's all about faith, man. Right? And faith was created with the faithful in the womb. And Lord, will we be those men, women, and children, right? The elect of Yahshua. You know, the innumerable multitude as well, man. Which consists of the women and children, you know, because the 144,000 is 144,000 men, right? But Lord, will we be those first fruits, man? All right, the elect, right, that the Lord is going to come and deliver, man. You know, so with that, Lord, was edifying. I'm going to end up by giving all praise and glory due to Yahawah, B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem, Kakadash, the belongs to the apostles, great millstone, real, and sanctions are your brethren doing this work, true, sincerely, cheers, next time, shalom, blah, blah, blah.